once again, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Timothy Silva. Please a round of applause for him. We also welcome our very distinguished guests, particularly Engineer Cindy Apote from the NCDDNA. You're most welcome, so thank you very much. Please a round of applause for him. Distinguished Honorable Senator Farouk, you're most welcome as well. And the Vice Chancellor of, with due respect to everyone else here, particularly the Honorable Minister, the Vice Chancellor of the best university in Nigeria, University of Lagos, Professor Indigo, you're most welcome, sir. I know that the people that went to OAU as well, they would be jealous at this point in time, particularly because Dr. Toye is their product, but the Vice Chancellor of the great University of Ife, you're most welcome. Please a round of applause for him as well. So today is a very great day, a day that we should be proud, not just to be Nigerians, but as Africans, because what you're about to witness today, I can say, has never been done in the entire continent of Africa. A campus that is 100% private sector driven, dedicated to the development of technology and technology-enabled businesses. There's nothing else like this anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa. For that, can we give the Unicorn Group a big round of applause? Well, the activities outside here is actually going to be very short. On behalf of the chairman, I welcome you. Just for a few minutes, maybe I will allow him to say a few words of welcome. I know that he would not want to do that. But the main thing is for the Honorable Minister to help us commission this facility, and then we'll take you on a tour. The lift, the elevator is fully functional, but there's no experiential feeling by climbing the elevator to both of us. So I hope we are all wearing comfortable shoes, because we are going up to the 5th and probably the 6th floor if you are not too exhausted by what you see, what you'll be able to take in, even from the ground floor to the first floor. So once again, on behalf of the Unicorn Group, I say a big thank you to you all for coming. Thank you so much for making our time out of the very busy schedules to be here with us. At this point in time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Minister, a very special guest of honor, to do the honors. I don't know if Excellency would like to say a few words before you do the commissioning, or you want to do the commissioning straight ahead. Okay, sir. So we'll like to invite the Honorable Minister, sir. Of course, ably supported by our distinguished guests. Dr. Akindele, please accompany. So, Excellency, will
Innovation Campus was commissioned on the 1st of June 2021 by me, Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum.
Now worthy of taking the next level. The now is about for my exactly the same thing. You're not doing anything seriously, but you get money you they have to move on and let people that want to work. But for those people that they find that we can invest in, we can support, they have their own offices. But now we have a team, fire everything, and that's the best thing.
Networking is important, and you're always waiting for people to come to you. It's not going to work. Very much. Thank you for that. And more, I will follow up.
I'm so sorry.
You're welcome, sir. Yeah, you can go in.
I'm learning about this for more. Are you there?
So where are you retailing this?
Currently we sell online.
It's online at the moment. Okay. Not that I'm hair challenged, but I'm not sure. I'm not
Perfect.
Thank you.
Hi, can you tell us a little about your product?
This is Bird for Her. We are a natural hair care luxury brand. We make hair shampoos, conditioners, and beard products for men as well. So that's what we do. We use non-toxic, very natural ingredients, and it's also for women that have relaxed hair, natural hair, whatever type of hair you have.
Okay, thank you very much.
You can actually have one.
I'd like to have one as well. You can watch this. It's streaming live on Unilag, Nigeria. You can watch it later on.
Sir, good. And again, like you see, can't balance men and women only. It's a more inclusive brand.
Come up the stairs. I'm not sure. I think you.
You're welcome. Daddy, well done. You're welcome. Daddy. Look at me. We are going to the next.
We're a media outlet. We basically
This is the screen you'll be showing them.
So TechAbout is, tilt mic, please. TechAbout covers the technology industry across Africa. So we are a content media organization covering the business and the human impact of technology on the continent. Our daily newsletter is read by investors and people in regulation and banks in technology from across Nigeria, across Africa, and Silicon Valley and Asia. It's the most important sort of daily roundup of what is happening in the technology space. As a business, we provide reporting, provide reports and data. Our TC Insights unit provides essentially reports and data and research on what's happening in the digital economy space. We are working along with presidency members like the Nigerian Startup Bill, helping to push that. And as an event, we also sort of create, as a business, we create opportunities for other people to be engaged with the tech industry. So we do a lot of training, we do a lot of engagements with women in tech and reports on women in tech. But overall, the most important sort of media organization covering technology across the continent. Focus on the trend.
So once you leave that level, you then have an office here, you have an address here, all the global partners come and meet you. Where finance that post finance them, all of the companies that we invested, they are always at this one. And the plan is that once they get to scale, they then go to their own building or go to the next floor. That was these are accelerators. We will a little bit.
And they commercialize it. That way, the guy who produces content makes money. The company creates a product, and everybody, the ecosystem grows. We need to show a lot more examples. The very fast portal in this world, they have to go and be created abroad. And then that equity is abroad. That can be here. So when you see all the exits, and you wonder how many, you take the exit and see how much of that capital goes back abroad. So 90% of that will go back. But it's our own local content. It's our own local resource, our own local people. How long will we continue exporting what we have? What we are doing, agri and oil and gas, we're not making it there. Because capital is coming from abroad to incubate our people and take value out. So this is the idea of innovation. Come and take innovate for the money here. Nobody, if you check, nobody, I will show you data, nobody. 95% of capital is investing in tech in Africa. It's foreign. So when you see this evaluation, it's not staying back home. It's even come before it comes here. We can't continue. This is what I'm saying, you know, continue building where everybody, and every week the lady get training up there, and because Yaba is much of Lagos, so that those have a larger space to do more. Every month, the company session invite corporates, invite investors, come and see that, and they get to that. You don't have to go abroad to raise money. You don't have to go abroad to access capital or talent. With libraries downstairs, you can log into any virtual library. In fact, from October this year, we find all our campus are live. One campus is right now in something on the floor there. One campus is right for what's now in Suicide and in Kenya. Who down African Congress where speak, then US CEOs, then talk to them. I think the thing we need to do here, if I get this in Ghana, I don't know, to show what's possible. Once you show we see innovation happen. So this is where magic happens for people that don't want to work. Even your pastor of faith. And when your pastor of faith, you know your needs. And for people that have to come to their bios, they are not here. You couldn't do it. Pure plants, you have to don't be labels. You don't have the one to come and they have an idea, you pitch it to us, like you do the application, you pay the salary. You pay the salary once they join this.
get salary, give them accommodation, just focus on what you want to do. What people are fed, ideas come out. And that's when you're taking people off the street into our ideas. And when we have our international partners, you know,
Correct. Fully digitized.
we have accommodation for people to live across. We pay you a salary. We do everything. So there's nothing needed anymore. All we're asking, bring your best ideas. We partner the Tom, who you're going to beat, is the largest fund in America. He's thrown down here for this. You say, we want to invest with you. But him around, you will not invest in our companies at cheap valuations. When we do have major exits, there will be African money states. Don't come back up again. Because if you check all the exits, and I will look like, if you check all the exits, about 90% of is spending money. So again, that money is going out, the resource, human capital is the biggest source, is now being exported. If they don't go to abroad and giving green cards or location, they carry our ideas and export it. So this is what innovation is about. 24-hour innovation. And the plan here is to do it all across every state if we can. But it's the money that we make from those who are going here, we invest here, but they don't expand to Bayelsa, where the next plan is based on what we're doing in Bayelsa. The plan says, that's our next plan, Nigeria first. Because that area again also needs a lot of innovation. So next campus will be by January this year will be in Bayelsa. Okoma precise. Okoma to Okoma. To the proper campus where we get incubate from there and be a regional hub, come to Lagos and compete. Same thing we do the north. Just think this capital formation is only about idea formation. Without idea, capital is not formed. So this is what we come to from commissions. We have want to work with universities. You know, we work with you. This is your OEU. Not with OEU and lab already. Yeah, you do that. So I'm saying that we'll try our best. We'll start small. Exactly.
Excellency, the Honourable Minister for Petroleum and Resources, thank you very much for coming. I hope that the exercise was worth it. And to everyone that also partook in the exercise from ground floor to the 5th floor, I congratulate you. Please, a round of applause for yourselves. So my work here is very limited. It's to formally welcome you and to introduce the short plenary session that we're going to have here today. This is something that will galvanize not just the education sector, not just entrepreneurship, not just businesses, but the entire polity of Nigeria. Our hope is that this particular building, in a few years from now, will contribute majorly to the GDP of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by the virtue of the businesses that will come forth out of here. At this point, though he didn't actually make any speech downstairs, but permit me, indulge me, invite Dr. Akinde for us to focus on the screen and just enjoy a short video for you to understand precisely why we are here. Before the video plays, I'd like the lighting guys to please try and turn down the lights.
It's 4:20 p.m. Africa, Africa's most populous city. You'll see on the road cars, buses coming from work, students going back home. They all have one thing in common: hopes, aspirations, frustrations, dreams. It can be tough living in Africa. It can really be tough. But for every of these guys you see, for all of them, for each of them, they have their ideas. They hope for tomorrow, possibilities. But they go back home with it and leave it at home. You know why? Because they don't even believe their ideas can come to reality. Capital is a challenge. Know-how is a challenge. Networks, learning experiences, even having the access to decision makers or peers who have done before is a challenge. So people just go with ideas and never explore them. And those that have explored them and been rejected don't follow through. That's a classic story of Africa, of Nigeria, of Lagos. No more. No more. Ideas have a home now. It's called Unicorn House. Everybody, every idea, every dreamer, every visionary, come home. This is 24 hours home. It's open for 24 hours. Where you can innovate, you can create, you can network, you can access global partners, you can access your local peers, you have clinics, you have mentors, and you have access to capital to make your dreams come true. Your vision was given to you free. It should not be that expensive to explore your vision. At Unicorn, we are passionate about helping you become the best version of yourself by giving you what you cannot find almost anywhere else. Unlimited access to resources that bring your dreams to reality. Ideas, welcome home. This is Africa. This is Nigeria. This is Lagos. This is our Kebulan. We can't wait to have you.
I'm very excited about the Unicorn Hub coming alive. For me, it's a continuation of a legacy. In this building, over decades, great things happened. Many wonderful ideas came through this building, from businesses such as Summit Oil International to Abiola Farms that end up employing thousands of people, to young Nigerians coming to pitch ideas to my father, be it hospitals, music studios, schools, and my father supporting those businesses. And then finally, the company that many people know and think of when they think of this building, Abiola Bookshop. Abiola Bookshop was that idea that Daddy had when we were struggling as Nigerians to access foreign exchange, to buy books from abroad. So his whole idea was to provide the foreign exchange and get those books that will continue to nurture the minds of Nigerians, make us more innovative, make us more aware, make us more knowledgeable. In the world today where it's no longer about books, but about knowledge in the internet environment, in the Internet of Things, we are able to ensure that Nigerian creatives, Nigerian innovators, Nigerian entrepreneurs get access to the very best that the world can provide in terms of an ecosystem that will nurture and grow from concepts to unicorn businesses that are valued in billions of dollars. The whole concept of incubating businesses has become a bit more mature today than maybe a few years before now. So even in this Yaba ecosystem, there are very many hubs available. Ours is going to be quite different because we're going to bring at least 4 things together. The first one is that ecosystem of ideas, where you can come in and do research and you can access the internet and specialists across the world. The second one is that we're going to have mentors that are going to help people as they nurture their ideas and form their businesses, their prototypes, their business models, and even start to generate income. The third one that is really very important today is that we're going to be able, through this building and the network of other similar buildings across Africa, because we're going to have one in Ghana, we're going to have one in, we already have one in Kenya and South Africa and so forth. Through that whole network, we're going to be able to get the entrepreneurs themselves, the promoters themselves, together to self-actualize, to be their own sounding boards, to together work towards helping each other grow. And there's nothing more powerful than that. And then finally, through platform, capital, and our partners across the world, we're going to be able to also get access to funding, the right kind of funding for the right business, for the right entrepreneur, at the right time. With this combination, I believe we're going to see wonderful things happen in Nigeria through some of the small effort that we have here.
Hello, my name is Dr. Pamela Oshubo, and at the Unicorn Incubation Campus, this is where we deliver our Unicorn program as part of our ecosystem strategy. Our plan is over the next 5 years for us to impact the lives of over 1 million entrepreneurs across Africa. To do that effectively, we have opened up this campus in Lagos, and we've opened up 3 others right now as of 2021, and we'll open up a final one next year. We will run our programs throughout the year, where we'll be touching the lives of entrepreneurs. Already, we have supported and impacted 20 entrepreneurs through our program last year. We are currently doing 10 more in our campus in Kenya as we speak. So by next year, we will be running these across 4 campuses. So we will be able to deliver that impact that we're looking for. At the campus, we're able to then take entrepreneurs through our strategy, from innovation to pre-seed, to seed, to growth, and finally to where they can dominate. Our vision is to be able to take these entrepreneurs and handle them, guide them through our campuses, using the team and our framework and our unique and proprietary framework for them to become the entrepreneurs of tomorrow that can take their companies across Africa and finally Africa to the world. At the Unicorn Incubation Campus in Yaba, we have developed a state-of-the-art facility for entrepreneurs across Africa. We have built it in such a way that gives them the same experience that we'll have going anywhere else in the world. We have 24-hour facility that gives them the fastest internet speed, give them access to a library of digital content that is available through our partners globally. It gives them a games room, sleep room, a cafeteria. It also gives them a networking and environment for them to be able to engage with other entrepreneurs, the faculty here, and the resident operating partners. We see this as being very critical to the development. The campus localizes everything they need as entrepreneurs for them to be able to grow from innovation to seed stage, and finally to begin to blossom and grow and scale across the continent, and finally outside of Africa.
Young African entrepreneurs now have a home here in the Unicorn Incubation Campus. Be it South Africa, Ghana, Lagos, Kenya, you're all welcome. Let us help you make your ideas materialize.
My name is Tosin Odusaya. I'm a director of the Unicorn Group. And I'm very excited to be part of this group. More so to be part of this Unicorn Tech Campus that is being opened right here. The Unicorn Tech Campus is one of its kind in this continent because it's a it takes a multi-level approach to incubation and mentoring up to funding of tech businesses and tech-enabled businesses and ideas that come to us. So the way it is structured is a multi-level structure, which means that you start from the first level and you work your way all the way to the top to where you actually are given a space, having been funded to start your business, or to continue your business the way that we've agreed with you to do that. What is also unique about this program and Unicorn is that it's we have an African view of what we're doing. So we're not just doing it in Nigeria, we're replicating this in Kenya, in Ghana, in South Africa. So we're going to have Unicorn campuses all across these countries in Africa.
This facility is a 24-hour access facility that is going to provide entrepreneurs and startups with access to mentorships, trainings, fundings, and all the resources they require to be successful.
What I found that it was amazing was actually this idea of sort of like a circular economy where there are different floors, and as companies progress and they make their ideas much more concrete and they find funding and potential investors and ultimately customers, they move up on the, let's say, on different floors until they reach the last floor where they actually interact with potential companies. And this idea of interacting between companies and ideas, i.e. startups, is something which is fascinating. Also, the campus is open 24 hours, which allows people to, young people to go to university and then come here to work, and also people who have day jobs, they can come in the evening, spend hours during the weekend as well. The facilities are just amazing. The material, the laptops, the access to information, which is going to be easily accessible for everyone. So the facilities are just very, very impressive.
It's so critical that we appreciate ideas like the Unicorn Incubation and Innovation Campus. The idea that enterprise continues to define the strength of nations, the meaning for families and individuals across the world, right? How do you really define power for Japan, for example? If you are not going to mention Toyota, Sony, Panasonic, Honda, and all these organizations. The idea is that nations are only as powerful as the brands that are global, that can attract purchasing power from all over the world and bring it to headquarters, maybe in Gambia, in Banjul, in Lagos, in Accra, as it is in New York or in Silicon Valley and all of that. So it's so important that we begin to focus on entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the destiny of the continent. I really believe that. And so working with them to close the gap between their naivety and their ignorance and the expertise and the power that they must communicate to the world is what incubations like this will achieve, and I think that's priceless. The impact on our GDP and per capita income or per capita GNI figures across the continent will make a lot of sense when we learn to invest and protect entrepreneurs, and that's what's going on here.
Join us as we work with the Cubs, the great young Cubs, the big mighty lions of Africa. Work with us as we seek to turn ideas from Africa to become global unicorns.
Welcome to the Unicorn Incubation Campus.
Welcome to Unicorn Incubation Campus.
Welcome to the Unicorn Innovation Campus.
Welcome to the Unicorn Incubation Campus.
Welcome to Unicorn Campus, Lagos.
Thank you for clapping even without me prompting you. Obviously, that means the video probably makes a bit of sense. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the Chairman, Board and Management of the Unicorn Group. Permit me to especially acknowledge and welcome Her Excellency, the First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. Please a round of applause for her. Usually for first ladies, you know, for people generally, you try to shorten the names they give you, but her name is so sweet to pronounce. Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu. You're most welcome. Thank you very much. Honorable Ministers, I hope you are not a bit jealous that your name is actually short. I mean, Chief Timmy Silva, it's as simple as that. You're most welcome. Also, I also like to acknowledge Engineer Simbi Wabote. Thank you very much for supporting us and for being a part of this. Honorable Farouk, thank you so much for coming. The Vice Chancellor of okay, it's okay. The Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University. I mean, I have no problem with Great Ife. It's just that, like, I always wonder, like, maybe apart from Dr. Toye that I know personally, I've always wondered, like, when LASMA is towing a vehicle, is Great Ife sticker you see behind it? Their vehicles are always breaking down over Lagos. Or they are either taking one way because they are just rebellious for nothing. Is there Luther spirit in there, right? Vice Chancellor, I hope you're well packed, sir. Lagos, we don't have respect. We tow any car. All right. Also, I'd like to welcome my Vice Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor of the only university in Nigeria, the greatest university ever, Livet, the model university for all universities in Nigeria. By the grace of God, the only university that we will be recognizing further on in the course of this event. The only university with a waterfront that is like Saint-Tropez or go to Silicon Valley, ask for Osh Agabi. Only one common denominator, University of Lagos. I mean, I can go on and on, you know, even people from Ife, they acknowledge jewels when they see them. That's why Dr. Akitoye, you know, went to Osh and said, guy, let's partner together, you know. Ife alone cannot do this thing. You always need to lean on University of Lagos. Okay, so thank you very much. Welcome you, my Vice Chancellor. So many distinguished persons here. Unfortunately, because we are very serious people, I would not be able to do the normal political recognition for everyone. You are all welcome in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to welcome Dr. Akitoye, just to formally welcome each and every one of us before we go into the main meet of the day. Please, a round of applause for the chief visionary of the Unicorn Group. If in your lifetime, if you have never met a dreamer, you know there are dreamers, and there are stubborn dreamers. This is a stubborn dreamer. There's nothing he dreams of that does not come to life. I don't know how he does it. 3 years we have been on this project. 2018 or 2017, late 2017, he made mention of this for the first time. 2018, 2019, COVID hit the whole world. He was still working. They were still working here. the most stubborn dreamer ever. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Akiba.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do my protocols differently. I'm going to recognize the people, the beautiful people who have supported this journey from the beginning to the end. I'm going to start. For all my career, I avoided working with government. Because when you come from where I come from, you don't go to government, they are going to just frustrate you. And then, over the last 18 months, I started looking inwards. I started asking myself certain questions. Why is it that international investors always ask us to avoid government? How are we going to scale as a people if we don't embrace partnership with government? It didn't make sense to me that our best and brightest were avoiding governance and government. That capital that's supposed to be smart was avoiding governance and government. And for a while, I understood their frustration until this current government came into power. I can stand there and say that I'm a benefactor of the policy or the vision of this current government under the President Muhammad Buhari. Say whatever you like, I'm a benefactor and I'm grateful. It's extremely important that we say that because a lot of us like to focus on negativity and all that is going wrong. And we complain about everything. And people forget that America is still the kidnapping capital of the world. But we don't hear it on CNN every day. We kidnap some people and it becomes bring our girls back, which is a bad thing on its own. We're not condoning it. But we as Africans and Nigerians don't talk about our own good stories enough. So if something is working as a country, if policy is working as a country, let us celebrate it. Why is it under the current government that you're having a lot of IPOs or capital flows? That means government is doing something right. It's baby steps. We have a long way to go, a long, long way to go. But if you don't take baby steps, we'll not go anywhere. So I decided to leave that business that told me not to work with government, to embrace government and support government and the policy they put into place. Because if we do not, who will? Nobody will. I was telling the Honorable Minister that my last career, most of the money I managed were for international investors. And anytime we did an exit, it just went back. Simple. So while we're exporting crude, cocoa, everything, also exporting our human capital. How do we reverse that? Under this current government, I want to be extremely appreciative and supportive. And my first protocol, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, who has not just been a visionary in trying to get the policy of the oil and gas sector approved through the BIB bill, is always also be a champion of gas. Africa is a gas continent, not oil continent. We have almost 800 times more gas than continent. When Uganda lost last week, and they had a gas field that they found, but they were told that their gas was useless, so they locked it up. That is the story of our continent. And the minister here has been championing gas, championing other initiatives. But most importantly, is in championing an economy beyond oil, where tech and oil meet. Honorable Minister, thank you for all the great work you're doing. Thank you for the vision you have put in the Ministry of Petroleum. We are lucky to have you at this point in time, and we hope the remaining part of this tenure and any other tenure you have, we're able to benefit from your vision and extraordinary ability to execute. Because saying is one thing, executing another thing. Thank you so much for what you have done for us, sir. I'm going to ignore TH Lagos jab to Ife because Her Excellency, the First Lady of Lagos State is here. And I don't want to be evicted, even though Abeokuta is not far. I can still walk from Abeokuta and walk in Lagos. Lagos State is not just an accident of nature. It's deliberate. When we did our African Heritage Day, some people that from Lagos State said how Lagosians engage Europeans to preserve Lagos State's culture. When Lagosians were weak and Europeans were strong, rather than fight heads on and lose everything, this almost 200 is now most advanced because Lagos State understands collaboration. They understand collaboration and they're also very reasonable. And they also encourage business. Is it from the policies of the government or initiatives like Lagos State Employment Trust Fund or other initiatives? You can see a deliberate attempt at trying to not just govern, but also encouraging partnership with the citizenry. We thank the Lagos State government, today represented by Her Excellency, the First Lady of Lagos State, and the SSA on education. Thank you for all Lagos State is doing. Thank you for all you are doing, and we hope that you continue to sustain that leadership that you have done, not just for Nigeria. Because listen, Lagos is Africa after all. If Lagos succeeds, Africa succeeds. So the future of Africa is in your hand, and so far, we're not alarmed by what you've done. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So, the Innovation Hub is about local content. It's about the possibilities that happen when we unlock human capital. I stood there yesterday on that plane, I saw cars going home and scooters going home. So much capital locked up in the minds of our young people. So much capital locked up. How do we harness that human capital? How do we fund local content? The Nigerian Content Development Board has been around for a minute, but sometimes magic happens with leadership. It just takes leadership. It takes leadership at all levels. And even for me, who has been an investment for so long, I did not know about the NCDMB until recently. And because the leadership of NCDMB decided to invest inwards. There's another investment authority, I will not mention his name so that they don't come and follow me, who invests all our capital offshore. And that's not a problem. But if you keep doing that, how do we scale locally? The Nigerian Content Development Board has been supporting local entrepreneurs, not just in oil and gas. So we are using our common wealth from oil to create shared wealth for everybody. That vision is an amazing vision, and the person charged with it, Engineer Simi Wabote, has done an excellent job in creating an ecosystem where you can access the NCDMBA. You don't have to know anybody. I didn't know Engineer Simi before I accessed NCDMBA. I didn't know him, but you don't have to know anybody. You just send your proposal in, they give you, they listen to you, they will support you, and they're innovative. Again, that's what you want a modern day 21st century government parastatal should be. And under excellent leadership, world-class professionals, and a clear vision to deepen local content, we have a board that's taking the charge of the minister to irrigate the local economy and unlock value. Engineer Sima Bote has led that charge very well. Thank you for coming and thank you for all you have done. We as platform are beneficiaries through your various supports, and we count on you then also using this innovation hub to innovate, because energy is now the sector to be innovated. Alhaji Senator Farouk Bello, thank you for coming. Alhaji has been at the forefront of investment finance for a long time, and Alhaji is seeking not just to come, because Alhaji is not just from the north. Alhaji grew up in Lagos. Alhaji was my boss in GT Bank in the 90s. So, but trying to bridge that gap between development and developing is a story that is when you go to go further, you go together. Alhaji, thank you for all you have done, Senator Farouk Bello. We count on your support going forward and look forward to working with you a lot more in the future. My Egbon, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, my fellow great Ife. You have to say, my fellow great Ife that is now VC of the University of Lagos, so you know the context, because people can forget where they come from, but we do forget. So YTA is claiming VC, and okay, VC is also, he went to University of Lagos as well, after we got him up to PhD level, and we then say, go forth and rule the world. Victor.
Great event.
Great. VC, thank you for the amazing work you're doing. University of Lagos under you has been phenomenal, attracting not just capital from grants and various places, but people like us to come and lecture and take the insult of Tia and Tosi and Co. to lecture in University of Lagos. Because the VC of Ife are not given us the campus in Lagos, and very soon we will shame them. But amazing work you're doing. Which one do we count? Is it the business school that you got private funding for? Is it the grants that gotten BOI funding for? Is it the waterfront at TSAs like Saint-Tropez? Or is it the quality of education that you have improved, or your ideas about green power? I keep saying that nation building is a collective responsibility. From professors to students, we must all build Nigeria. You're an excellent leader. You're a great and better human being. I'm grateful for knowing you, and I'm grateful for the grace of God in your life. Thank you for being a leader we can all emulate and wish to be. Thank you, sir. To my own VC, Professor Kubodede, you drove all the way from Mayfair to come. Our partnership just started. We are trying to do the same campus with you in Mayfair, so that Unilag does not just be, this talking to you, so it is going too much. Thank you. Thank you for also trying to bring that institution to 21st century. Thank you for all you are doing. I mean, Ife is going to be the only university without solar power. Unilag people, can you hear what I just said? Okay, I will not say too much. So, Professor Kubodede, thank you for coming, and thank you. Professor Cesar Baina, thank you, Dean of ISM, for flying all the way down from Paris, for supporting the Unicorn program, for being a director, and for giving us your content, because they are advanced innovation and content. So everybody here that a member can access ISM content online, virtually, and real time. That is value. All the best ideas in Europe, everything. Professor is giving us access to that. So you don't have to take a plane and fly and get a ticket to know. You can do this locally. Thank you, Professor Baina. Osh Agabi. So Osh went to University of Lagos. I'll give him that. But the University of Lagos did not even appreciate Osh until an Ife person appreciated Osh. Osh, please stand up for recognition. Osh is, if you don't know Osh, I'll give you a big one, but Osh is a Nigerian that is trying to change the pharmaceutical and healthcare space in the US. His company, Koniku, called Immortal, has created the first health cyborg, that can smell and detect compounds 7 kilometers away. So right now, we're partnering with everybody from Airbnb to airports, from 7 kilometers away, before you even, whether it's explosive or anything, it's been detected. We're putting them on planes. Changi Airport is piloting this. San Francisco Airport is piloting this. We are later of getting our approval process from the FDA. OSH has 17 patents on how to pilot. With technology, sir, you cannot, Mobile has just finished a pilot where they cannot use that cyborg to detect deep water reserves. You don't have to do big drilling anymore to find whether there are reserves there. Mobile has piloted it successfully. They were about to adopt Koniku to do that to exploration. We have companies in health. The UEFA Champions League wants to put our smell camera of Koniku in all the stadiums. So before you come near, they know that you have COVID or something else. Just stay aside. Koniku, Osh is our own Nigerian in San Rafael, Silicon Valley, that's built the first cyborg to detect organic compounds and has flown all the way to come and support us here, even though we're also his investors. Osh, please stand up. You're doing amazing work. We're so proud of you. He has the biggest investors in the world, SoftBank, Tom and Co. supporting him. But we also as Nigerians also supported him. So Unicorn as well is also an investor here. Because like I keep saying, we just can't keep sitting in Nigeria and expecting salvation to come. We have to also get and bring it back. So Unicorn has invested in us, and us as one agreed to partner with University of Lagos to send 3 people to University of Silicon Valley every year for training, to also then build a campus here, because cyborg is something that we all watch on movies, but Osh has done it, and it beats every time for detection, for explosive, for everything. The parallels are unbelievable. Osh, thank you. We appreciate you. We are proud of you. Tom Ploshan, thank you for coming. You run all the way from DC. This is your first time in Africa, right? He runs one of the largest funds in the US, and is so keen on what's happening in Africa and partnering with us that's flown all the way down. Thank you for coming. I hope you like what you see, and I hope you can invest in the next Koniku and Co. because Koniku is just one of the things we have to offer in Africa. We have a lot more to offer, and we're looking forward to you to help us make this happen. Thank you, Tom. Olakunle Sorinyo, my fellow dreamer, my fellow partner in crime. Thank you for all you do. I can't find Kulesi here. Okay, it's not. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for your support. The Innovation House that you see here was an idea 4 years ago. Why? Africa has young population. Having a young population is a great thing. You know what's better? Having a young population in the 21st century world where technology and barriers are low, where access to information is not digital. What is greatest or best is having a young population in the 21st century world that are creative, that are innovative, and they are hungry. And that is what we have in Nigeria and Lagos. And as such, we then said to ourselves, how can we unleash this energy? There's so much trapped energy in our young people. Average age of 18. How do we take this how do we make this an advantage? How do we not turn this into another curse? Because the Dutch disease says that almost every resource is a curse. How does our human resource not become a curse? What are the missing things? We then spent time, myself, Dr. Abiola, all the directors there, we traveled around the world and then found out why Silicon Valley was successful. It was market access, it was capital, it was mentorship, it was networks, it was regulatory. And we then realized that we cannot build new cities in Nigeria that don't have enough space. We can build campuses where everything can be domiciled in one place, where people of any race, gender, anything can come and innovate. And we said to ourselves, we'll build a campus. We then also said to ourselves, people have to do other jobs to survive. Make it 24-hour place. So the first 24-hour innovation hub in the world, by the way, not just Africa, is the first 24-hour innovation and incubation hub in the world. This is the first of its kind because we have unique problems in Africa. Other people don't need to go to a place where they use electricity. We know what's happening with electricity. We've done it here in a smart way. We have access to content, we have access to people, we have the best brains around, we have everything you need. So you have no reason not to be successful. We then said we'll build this campus and we'll then build satellite campuses around Africa. Because if you take a child from here and talk that in Soweto or Nairobi, they look alike, they sound like, they dream alike. The future is young, the future is feminine, the future is ours. The only way that we can then see the Africa we dream of is Africa sees as one. Now leveraging the African Free Continental Trade Act, we then said, let's have campuses around Africa, let's bring young people to network with each other. So for example, by end of June, we have a team of 10 coming from Kenya to spend 2 weeks here, to innovate here. From end of June, from end of September, we have a team coming from South Africa to innovate here. And Nigerians will then go to other places as well. For us, it's about networking, it's about going together. This place was meant for everybody. It's meant for everybody. It's not our own. That's why the structure that owns this building is a not-for-profit structure. This building, the capital company invests, but this is a not-for-profit structure where we seek to replicate this across African countries for African youths to engage, to interact, to access market. I've been lucky. I keep saying to people, when people say it to me, I say I'm a product of grace. The grace of God in my life, I cannot doubt. The grace of God where I've seen unmerited favor where I did not sow. I pray that people sow or people reap where they don't sow. Because if you reap where you sow, it's linear. If you reap where you don't sow, that means you have done well to people and it's non-linear. And the only way we can actually ensure the future is by in our own way, trying to create a world better than we met it. I'm so lucky to have people, Dr. Abiola, Tosin Odusonya, Professor Baina, Kule Sorinyo, TF, a lot of people. What you see today has been 3 years of almost insanity. But we have to get it done and keep getting better, getting it done. So for us today, it's a dream come true because we're able to welcome you home. Welcome your kids home. Welcome your relatives home. Rather than having a relative that has sending money every month, send them here to go and innovate. Let them learn. We hope and we are looking for other people to join us to mentor these great ideas. Formally, my colleague will just give a brief talk on what we do. I want to leave you with a few things. I understand all our frustrations about Nigeria. For most of us that actually did not go abroad, some of you cannot claim that you went abroad and you came back and you're complaining. We stayed there. We stayed there during all the rough years. I understand it. But the progress is not made in one day. We made amazing progress post 1992. This iconic building was fortuitous and also deliberate. A building that was built for knowledge. For knowledge. Is now a building transformed for knowledge and information. A building that was built for knowledge at the epicenter of three great institutions, University of Lagos, Department of Technology, and FCE, is now a building that will unleash all the possibilities and potential in our young people in this area. A building that has 6 floors. We wanted 6 floors. It was in Yaba, had infrastructure with a bookshop foundation to enable us stand on the shoulders of an amazing giant and then breathe air into the new world. Is grace. Life is about grace. We are grateful to everybody, from those my amazing colleagues who do tireless work. I appreciate you guys. Even if I frustrate you, I will not apologize, but we are all going together. To the thank you to a lot of our partners, to the government for your amazing support, because without approvals, this permit will not have done. Permit is not automatic. You have to ask for it. So thank you, Lagos State. Thank you to the Ministry of Petroleum, who have shown us that they want to do beyond petroleum, to Tom, to everybody. This is a story of possibilities. What is possible when we all work together? What is possible when public sector and private sector collaborate? But most importantly, what is possible when we don't give up? Because impossible is not African. Thank you very much.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you all for coming here, but also more importantly say welcome home, because we see this as a monumental time in the history of innovation in Africa. So I'll just talk to you about the campus unicorn and the program and give you a bit of context just to cement what has been said already by a number of people. My name is Dr. Pamela Oshibo. To those that don't know me, I work at Platform and also a director at Unicorn. Okay. So Unicorn started when, in our travels and looking at the investments across the African landscape, we saw challenges. We asked ourselves back in 2017, why do we not have a unicorn out of Africa? That was how it started. We then looked around the world and traveled around the world and saw that countries that have populations of 60, 90, 100 million people had 3, 4, 5, 7 unicorns, and we said, well, there's clearly a problem, a fundamental issue. And we identified some of those issues around access to knowledge, access to capital, access to mentors, access to infrastructure that helps you, gives you an enabling environment. And that's how we then decided to start Unicorn. And we developed a very innovative program. We spent a lot of time traveling the world, researching, speaking to experts. And then we developed our ecosystem approach. Our ecosystem approach focuses on 6 things. It focuses on programs, which I'll talk about, which gives education. We've done one successfully in Lagos last year at the University of Lagos. We're going to do another one this year in this campus. So Q3 this year, we'll start again with entrepreneurs from all over Africa. We also doing one in Kenya now. So that is about educating people, teaching them from the ground up, how to build, how to ideate, how to innovate, and how to build businesses. 2, we said we need campuses, we need infrastructure that will give people everything they need so they can focus on what is important about innovation and ideation. So this is our Lagos campus. We have 3 others that I'll show you about. We have a network of incubators and accelerators. We then got that globally. We got partnerships with ISM. We have advisors. We have resident operating partners. But most importantly, we also had access to capital. But that is the bedrock of everything. So that's our unique ecosystem that is unique. It's our DNA as Unicorn. And that is how we believe and know that we're going to be able to create successful companies and change the African narrative. So our value add focuses around these 5 things: education, mentorship, coaching, access to capital, talent, but also importantly, market access. Our global network will be able to provide entrepreneurs with access to capital, access to markets, both local and international, and they'll be able to grow. They'll be able to scale across borders. Our board consists of individuals who have over 250 years of experience, who are global, who are able to add significant value, help us develop our strategy, and access partnerships globally. The team is also led by a well and experienced team that cuts across VC. You can see a number of them. Now let me talk about our programs. We developed 5 unique programs that will be able to support entrepreneurs through all their stages of development. This campus also embodies those 5 stages. We started with what we call Dream. That's open to anybody from the years of 10 to 80. If you have an idea, you have a dream, come here. We'll help you incubate. We'll give you access to clinics. We'll give you access to information where you can help to situate and teach you how to ideate. Our next stage is where we have our hub. That is when you are now post-revenue, you are now pre-revenue, you're looking to pre-seed funding. We will give you access to mentors. We will give you access to capital to be able to go to your first MVP or POC. We then created our incubation and our accelerator stage. That is when we need to spend significant time with you, test your business model, test your product market fit, and make sure that you're ready to grow. After passing through that stage, then we believe you will be at the stage to dominate, where you'll be able to go, hire a successful team, and grow and begin to scale across the country and across Africa as well. So we have significant partners and stakeholders from all over the world that have made this successful. This is very key to how we, as Unicorn, grow and believe that we'll be able to embed our strategy. They've been very successful and supported. You've heard some of that already, and I won't repeat that. So our campuses. We have 4 campuses as of today: in Lagos, in Nairobi, in Johannesburg, and also in Accra. Our 5th in Morocco will open up next year so that we cover Africa. Because we don't believe that, with 2 things, we don't believe that people should have to leave their local cities to go and get this access to information. They don't have to travel to Silicon Valley or to Europe. We want to make it local. We want to make it accessible. 2, the campuses also allow us to cross-pollinate ideas so we can move people easily and they can be situated and learn about different markets. But for us, the campuses localize everything you need. So the entrepreneurs come here and they have everything. They have knowledge, they have information, they have food, they have recreation, and they can focus on what's important to them. So this is our campus in South Africa, in Sandton, Johannesburg. This is our campus in Airport City in Accra, covering Ghana. And this is in Westlands, Nairobi. This is our campus that's currently being used to incubate 10 of the smartest and brightest out of East Africa. So our investment footprint covers across Africa. We have investments in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, in Ghana. We also have investments in North America and Latin America. Because Unicorn, we also invest in ideas like Koniku to bring them from the world into Africa. And we've done a number of those already and will continue to grow. This is a selection of the entrepreneurs that we've been able to impact and invest in. This is not all, but you can see they're from all over Africa. A lot of them look like people you see every day. And that is our dream, to impact 1 million entrepreneurs over the next 10 years. And we'd like to ask you to join us on that journey, whether you are an individual, an investor, an entrepreneur, or government. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pomle. Thank you very much. I apologize, the Honorable Special SSA to the Governor on Education. Thank you very much for coming, representing His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Governor Babajide Shola. At this point, I'd like to invite, respectfully, the Honorable Minister to give his goodwill address or a special address on this occasion. Please round of applause for His Excellency Chief Timothy Silva.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of Lagos State, the SSA on Education, representing her husband, the ES NCDMB, Honorable, let me just recognize especially the Unicorn team, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I must say that I am overwhelmed by the capacity for innovation that I have confronted here today. Toye is a dreamer. He's an innovator, and you can see that from the way he was able to flip this program, starting from the vote of thanks, which he had just given, and then walking it down to the speeches which we are given, the welcome speech, and so on. TA started this program by taking a dig at me. And Toye took on from there with more jabs. And this is Ojoro. Because you know that the University of Port Harcourt is not well represented here. So you have the effrontery to say that the University of Port Harcourt is not a university. Unique Uniport. You see, there's nobody here. Oh. I'm very happy to be here today because I think for the first time, I'm seeing the right thing being done. Why do I say that? The colonialists came here long ago, and the focus was on some of our resources. And they tried to develop those resources and took them out. The focus was not on the main resource that we have. The main resource that Africa has is the human resource, which has not been developed. And then we took over from the colonialists and more or less followed in their footsteps. Oil became the only resource, more or less, that we focused on. But of course, you must learn from the Jewish example that the development of the human resource means the development of the most sustainable resource. And we have human capital in abundance in Nigeria. I don't want to say too much about this because Toye has said a lot about it, and of course, the other presenter also said everything about that. But I can tell you that this is the beginning of the right road. And I believe that if we take this road, Nigeria and Africa will soon be at the top. In Nigeria, I'm really worried about something, a culture that has developed. A culture of complaining. We complain about everything. And sometimes I tell people who are close to me that the problems that we complain about most of the time are actually the solution to our problems. But we don't look at the solution side, we only look at the problem side. For example, I take malaria. Malaria is endemic to us. But all the cure for malaria is imported from outside. So if you, any of you, take malaria as part of the solution and part of the problem, and look for a solution to a cure for malaria, I am sure you will be an instant success. Why are we not exporting the cure of malaria to the rest of the world? Why is Pfizer the one developing the cure for malaria that doesn't exist in America? So we in Nigeria, in Africa, must learn to recognize our strength. Yes, we have a lot of problems. The political class has its own problem. I must agree. The first problem is with us, the political class. But you will not say that there is no problem with any other class. So we sit here, we blame everybody. A lot of people are blaming the politician, rightfully. Some are blaming the policemen for being corrupt. Some are blaming women. Women are blaming old people are blaming young people are blaming everybody. But I believe that at the beginning of our solution will be when we actually stop blaming ourselves. The solution is with us, and that solution is with this young, talented population that we have in abundance. And Toye, thank you very much for really focusing on this segment, this most important segment of our population. When you complain, the psychology of complaint is that first you take yourself out of the loop of blame. So everybody else is the problem. Then you are not part of the problem. But when we look at it, really, strictly speaking, you know that the man who is going to steal rail tracks and putting it on a truck to go and sell is also part of the problem. The man who is also going to cut electric wires that have been installed by the government is also part of the problem. So you look at it one way or the other, we are all part of the problem. But I can see that Toye is not complaining. Unicorn Group is not complaining. And that, I believe, is pointing the way to the solution of our problem in Nigeria. The solution to our problem is to get out of this blame culture and get to work. And let us start the work from the point of innovation, which has started here at Unicorn Group. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in giving a round of applause to His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and an alumnus of the best university in this hall today. Honorable Minister, your university is the best in this hall today. Yes. Uniports are great. Unique. Honorable Minister, I shouldn't have said that because something else just came to my mind. Lagos, once you see unique, it's usually like a barbing salon or female salon, unique hair product, unique hair. All right. Very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you all for bearing with us. At this point, I'd like to invite our mother, the mother of the state, Her Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Governor himself, representing herself and her husband, and she has a goodwill message on behalf of her husband for all of us. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu.
Thank you very much. I guess the MC didn't want to lose his job. That's why he had to make reference to unique. Good afternoon, everyone. The Minister of State for Petroleum, His Excellency Prince Timi Pri Silva. It's nice meeting you in person. I've always been seeing you on television, so I have the honor of sitting beside you. And thank you for reminding us that the investment should be in the people, and we should shift our focus from just going for the minerals and gold that we see, the resources that we see in Africa, but invest in the youth. And so we thank God for this dreamer that is bringing this thing to life. God bless you for investing in our youths. The Senator, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Farouk Bello, thank you. Nice meeting you, sir. Thank you for encouraging the dreamer. The special guest of speech, Engineer Simbi Wabote. Nice meeting you, sir. The special advisor on education, Honorable Tokunbo Wahab. Thank you for ushering me into this place. The Chairman Unicorn, Dr. Akitoye Akindele. Thank you for your wonderful speech and your encouragement among the youths. Distinguished speakers, so many here who will be taking part in the plenary session. Professor Eyitope Ogunbodede, the VC of Obafemi Awolowo University, the Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, the Vice Chancellor of Unilag. For once, I was a bit confused. Are you from Ife or Lagos? Okay, now I understand better now. Great Akokite. Great Akokite. Great. You see, even the VC doesn't know where to put. You can see that he didn't say that thing with so much confidence. We got you today, sir. There's so many wonderful people here. And sometimes we want to stand on the existing protocols, but we've already started the protocols. There's Thomas Ploppen, the wonderful man here that Toye talked so much about. Hush. Koniku, is it Yoruba or Chinese? Is Yoruba, okay. Nice name. Thank you for making us proud all over the world. Thank you, God bless you. Mr. Kunle Shoyirin, the Chairman Unicorn Group. Again, Dr. Akitoye Akindele, thank you for inviting us here. I am here representing Mr. Governor. There's so many distinguished gentlemen of the press here. I think I saw one gentlewoman there, yeah. She's in the press too. Ladies and gentlemen. I'm here representing Mr. Governor. He has given me his speech, which I'm supposed to deliver here. The 21st century has witnessed incredible advancements driven by science and technology. The impact of ICT cuts across every sphere of human endeavor, including banking and finance, entrepreneurship, to mention but few. I am deeply pleased that the Unicorn Group is keen into the most important and promising sector with the launching of the biggest incubation campus in Africa, located here in Yaba, the heart of Lagos Technology Hub. I want to specially acknowledge and also commend the chairman, Dr. Akitoye Akindele, board members and management of Unicorn Group for the giant strides the group has recorded in East Africa and in several other parts of Africa. Through the various Unicorn incubation programs held across the African continent in the past few years, African youths and entrepreneurs have had the opportunity to align their raw ideas in line with global relevances and innovation while receiving due tutelage and mentorship from global business leaders with multi-million-dollar businesses. The incubation programs have tested the assumptions and ideas of our African youths and refined them into global competitive innovations. The current demography in Africa indicates that about 60% of the continent's population is under the age of 25, making Africa the continent with the world's youngest population. In order to adequately harness the potentials in this young population, it is important that we as Africans and leaders begin to embrace entrepreneurship and innovative solutions in fintech, edutech, e-health, and many more as we continue to build businesses and industries that meet the needs of our population. I strongly believe that the decision to construct this incubation campus in Yaba, which has come to be known as the Technology Hub, as well as prototype of the Silicon Valley in Lagos, is a strategy to spur innovation and empower entrepreneurs to identify and build sustainable and competitive companies that will contribute to the economic growth of Africa. This incubation campus, situated within this 7-story edifice, will set a new standard and address the challenges being faced by entrepreneurs, early startups, and early-stage companies across Africa, as the campus has been specifically prepared to provide users with 24 hours access to a variety of resources, management coaching and mentorship, pitch training, funding resources, and other essential benefits. As an administration charged with the responsibility of managing one of the fastest growing economies in the continent to meet the demands of the 21st century, we recognize the pivotal role the youths and entrepreneurs play in developing the economy and the need to support them. In addition to the funding support through Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and other initiatives, including the 250 million need capital for technology and innovation for young innovators, we are committed to making Lagos business and economic space more conducive for startups, small businesses, and entrepreneurs at large, because we understand how vital their contributions are to the economy in the long run. While the efforts of Unicorn Group and other well-meaning investors and companies that have demonstrated commitment to youth empowerment and entrepreneurial development are laudable, we definitely need more hands on deck to take advantage of our young population to build a competitive and technology-driven economy. As a government, we will not relent in providing the enabling environment, such as the ongoing 6,000-kilometer optic fiber infrastructure project for a more efficient and reliable internet connectivity. Once again, I appreciate Unicorn Group for bringing Africa's biggest incubation campus to Lagos, and I commend you for several opportunities you have provided for developing the African youths. Thank you for dreaming. This dream has come true. Thank you for not giving up, Mr. Akintoye Akindele. Thank you for unearthing the hidden gems of Africa. Once again, God bless you. Thank you, VC, for bringing Madam.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the First Lady of Lagos State. Please a round of applause for her once again. All right. We've been from one doctor to another, from Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu to Dr. Akintoye Akindele. I think it would be nice at least to have an engineer for now. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Engineer Simbi Wabote, for his own good message.
Well, MC, protocol-wise, you have asked my boss to speak, and now you are asking me to speak. So they flipped the program. Okay, with the permission from my boss, I will carry on with my speech, since he acknowledged that the program was flipped. It's innovation. For the first time, you know, it's tech hub. Okay, thank you. So, with the permission from the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, I will take my speech at this point. First, he had asked me to suggest that we change the MC because to settle this fight between IFE and Unilag, you need a neutral person, somebody from University of Port Harcourt. So I think, Toye, please take note so that we just keep it simple here. The governor of Lagos State, represented by our dear sister and his wife, Mrs. Sanwo-Olu, the SSA to the governor on education, my distinguished friend and senator. I saw him last in 2004. Toye, thank you for bringing him here. I remember an incident with him in 2004. I was working for Shell then. I was at some point assigned to be the National Assembly advisor to Shell in charge of the Senate. So I took him on a field visit to Warri. In Shell, you know, the Honorable Minister knows we are very specific when it comes to issues. So we took them to a hotel and we gave the hotel what they can eat and what they cannot eat, what they can drink and what they cannot drink, because we wanted to control cost. So Senator Bello then sat down, he called the chef and said, "Do you have prawns?" The chef said, "Yes, we have prawns." He said, "Can I have prawns then?" He said, "No, you cannot have prawns." Senator Bello flipped. He said, "What do you mean I cannot have prawns? But do you have it?" They said, "Yes, we have it, but you cannot have prawns." So he then called me. He said, "Engineer, can you come and explain this? I want prawns, and this man is saying I cannot have prawns. What is the problem?" The chef now said, because Shell said, you cannot have prawns because it was specific meal. So that was my experience with Senator Bello in 2004 in Warri. This actually happened. It's not a story. So I remember that very well. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, but most importantly again, my dear friend and brother, Dr. Toye. I think the description of Toye is apt. When I was coming, I asked my colleague Victor and I said, "Look, we are going to Tech Innovation Hub. How do we dress?" He said, "You dress the way you dress now." I said, "That is Tech Hub. The people dress anyhow." So when I came, I saw Toye with his torn jeans and I said, "I told you, I would have worn Nika to this place in order that I fit into the technology thought process." So the chairman and members of the board of Unicorn, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one thing I want to say for people like us who had parastatals, you have to be specific what you say so that you are not quoted out of context. So you struggle to explain. But for people like my boss, he's in charge. So whatever he says goes. So I'm going to read my speech so that I'm not quoted out of context. It gives me great pleasure to be part of today's epoch-making event, which is the launching of the Unicorn Incubation Campus, reputed to be Africa's largest incubation campus here in Lagos State in Nigeria. This edifice attests to the fact that Africa is about to further unleash a lot of potentials, which will be to the advantage of Nigeria and the African continent at large. Coming in here, I thought Toye had took me off guard by waking me up late in the night to steal everything that is in my head. If you ask my colleague Patrick, this is what I always dream and talk about, that we must establish in this country in order to encourage innovation and then Toyi has taken the sail off my wind. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board is happy to be here to demonstrate our support for this laudable project. NCDMB, like you know, was established in 2010 by the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act as the sole agency of the federal government responsible for driving development of local content in the oil and gas industry. The key mandates of the board, as enshrined in the NOGIC Act, is to develop local capacities and capabilities, monitor compliance, and enforce the provisions of the Act. Thus, we are always excited to be part of any initiative aimed at the development of local capacities and capabilities in our dear country, Nigeria. Our vision is to serve as a catalyst for the industrialization of the Nigerian oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors. These linkage sectors include power, construction, ICT, and several others. I have no doubt that the Unicorn Incubation Campus is definitely a place that will catalyze innovation and creative ideas to address modern challenges. The board has always been very supportive of innovation and technology. Our 10-year strategic roadmap recognizes research and development as a key enabler in the attainment of our 70% Nigerian content target in the year 2027. The 10-year roadmap is hinged on 5 key pillars and 4 enablers. The strategic pillars are technical capability development, compliance and enforcement, enabling business environment, organizational capability, and sectorial and regional market linkages. The 4 enablers are funding, regulatory environment, collaboration, and stakeholder engagement, and research and statistics. We believe that by tapping from the ingenuity of our young talents, we will enhance the delivery of the various strategic initiatives enunciated in our 10-year strategic roadmap. Over the period of 10 years, over 10 million training man-hours have been utilized to train youths under our human capacity development programs. The board partnered with the Industrial Training Fund on youth development and empowerment by training 255 youths on 9 vocational skills, including ICT, industrial automation, and mechatronics, process control, and building technology. We partnered with the Lagos Energy Academy to train and certify 100 youths in electrical engineering. The program achieved 60% job placement for all the participants of that training. In recognition of the critical role of ICT in national development, we embarked on construction and equipping of ICT centers in secondary schools across the geopolitical zones of Nigeria. We also invested in the training of teachers to improve STEM education, with over 1,500 teachers trained to date. The board also invested in the Youth Empowerment Initiative in the form of the GSM repairs training. A total of 3,500 youths have been trained in GSM hardware and software repairs in Kano, Yobe, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Cross River states. The board recently completed the 4th edition of the annual undergraduate essay competition aimed at getting the thoughts of the youths on the role of research and development in the oil and gas industry. The first edition of the NOGTech Hackathon was concluded last November, which produced 5 groups of winners who have completed technology incubation and maturing out our facility in Yanagua, Bayelsa State. And this is where I see the synergy between what we pursue and what Unicorn is set up for. If we identify those innovators, the next step is to bring them to Unicorn and then start the incubation process up to that entrepreneurship step. So this is a very unique opportunity, and I think Toya and I remember, talked about this some years back when he mentioned, I think last year, when he talked about this. So I see a great synergy. That's why I brought my colleague Patrick here to see what is here and then see how we can transit from what we do to using this facility in order to bring up those young innovators that we have identified. Similarly, the board partnered with Enactus and came up with the Science and Technology Innovation Challenge for youths. And graciously, the governor of Lagos State was in that kickoff of that event with the Nigerian universities. The competition has reached the final stage, and 6 teams have emerged as contenders for the grand prize. And those will be transited also to Unicorn to continue in their innovation spirit. Under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, we secured approval for the $50 million Nigerian Content Research and Development Fund to drive basic research, commercialization of research breakthroughs, establishment of centers of excellence, and to sponsor university endowments. Ladies and gentlemen, let me highlight that as we train our human capacity development on the supply side, we are also working on the demand side so that the capacities and capabilities developed can be utilized. The board is involved in the development of industrial park in 6 states to enhance manufacturing, entrepreneurship, and job creation. We have several partnerships on the development of modular refineries, LPG cylinder manufacturing, power plant, gas processing, and others to generate employment for those we have trained. The board is proud of the various intervention programs in human capacity development, but there is room for us to do more from stakeholders in the public and private sectors. With about 170 public and private universities in Nigeria producing more than 500,000 graduates every year, we see huge opportunities to extract brilliant ideas from our agile and very creative youths to solve current and future challenges. That is why the board is excited about the launch of the Unicorn Incubation Campus, which seeks to prepare and equip Nigerian youths in the application of science, technology, and innovation to create homegrown businesses, solutions to everyday problems in the different sectors of the Nigerian economy. The provision of a world-class platform such as this for education, training, mentorship, infrastructure, and long-term capital to entrepreneurs and startups in the technology and technology-enabled sector using ecosystem strategy is an excellent proposition for any discerning individual or business. Taking a look around, it is obvious that the 4th industrial revolution is upon us. We are in the era of cloud computing, Internet of Things, robotics, big data, and so more. Straight from our handphone, you can carry out several transactions, from ordering for food to checking for your blood pressure. Slowly and steadily, newspapers, bank checks, raw cash, and many of the things we are used to are becoming outdated. The truth is that innovation will never go out of fashion. A newly acquired technology becomes obsolete over time, and it is important to always adapt as quickly as possible, as change is constant and inevitable. I have said on several occasions that the Stone Age did not disappear because of lack of stones. In the telecom sector, for example, the Nokia telephone was a must-have for billions of mobile telephone users. But we all know how slow decisions to respond to the shifting consumer tastes led to its fall. The Boeing 727 passenger jet was once a must-have for major airlines transporting millions of travelers across the globe daily. The jet was finally rested in early 2019 after being upstaged by the more quiet and efficient models. Technology and innovation have revolutionized the business environment such that tech firms are much more valuable and in most cases earn much more revenues than the conventional businesses we know today. For instance, the share price of Apple Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange is more than twice the share price of ExxonMobil. The market capitalization of Apple is over $2 trillion, while that of ExxonMobil is about $240 billion. That should tell us where the world is headed. Electric cars have been introduced into the Nigerian market. Any discerning mind will note that the end of the era of petrol-driven cars in Nigeria has perhaps started. The transition will not happen overnight, but we have been served notice, and it is just a matter of time before the internal combustion engines in cars become extinct. It is important, therefore, that we do our bit to prepare and position ourselves to embrace these disruptions, positive disruptions, and the other aspects of the fourth industrial revolution. I sincerely believe that facilities such as the Unicorn Incubation Campus we are launching today are very vital in the ecosystem of technology development infrastructure. Let me once again commend the vision of the chairman and board of directors of Unicorn Incubation Campus for choosing to invest in the development of human capacity and nurturing of tech and innovation startups. This incubation campus could have been utilized as a shopping mall or a hotel or a rental apartment. The choice to invest in our youths and nurture the next generation of entrepreneurs is truly patriotic and inspiring to me. I call on our teaming youths to put up on their thinking caps and utilize the facilities to incubate, innovate viable solutions that will solve challenges in Nigeria and the world at large and earn the associated rewards. Nigeria already has the attention of big tech companies all over the world, with the visit by their CEOs such as Mark Zuckerberg and the announcement of Microsoft to accelerate the Nigerian digital economy that will foster job opportunities, upskill up to 5 billion people, and create over 27,000 new digital jobs in 3 years. Let me also put on record that NCDMB is ready to partner with Unicorn to further channel the creativity and energy of our youths to promote peace, development, and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Cindy Wabote. So that I don't look like I always reply to everything that they say against me. I'll just say, God bless you, sir. But next time, when they invite you for a tech event, you see Tech Bro. You see Tech Bro now? If he's coming to your office, I'm sure he will wear his danshiki. But if it's our tech event, he will wear Tata jeans with trainers, give them big Boku belts. They don't know that the man is old, but he has to keep up the appearance. He's a tech bro now. What dealing with young people will cause? So, Honorable Ministers, with due respect, when you two are coming, wear canvas. And that tie, you don't need it. In tech world, we don't wear tie. Yeah, welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I'd like to invite one of our directors, Dr. Wura Abiola, to take on the next assignment. She's been of immense support, and of course, this is even a legacy event for her. Please a round of applause for Dr. Wura Abiola.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would love to stand on existing protocol, if I may. There are wonderful, eminent Nigerians here that I really should call one after the other. But really, as per tech event, I know I didn't get the memo early. I should have been in my own jeans as well. All I will do is promise not to call you by your first names, but otherwise, I think we can really just move swiftly along. They're supposed to remove this, I think. Oh, it's fine. Okay, then I'll come up. It would be remiss of us if we do not ask some of the people that have come wide and far to speak to us on a theme. The theme for this evening or this afternoon is From Africa to the World. I would love to have the two eminent VCs, my big uncle, Professor Ogundipe, and Professor Ogunbodede, to please join us, if you may. Thank you, sirs. I'd also like to call Professor Cesar Bena. Forgive me if my pronunciation of your name isn't quite right. Please do come and join your fellow professors. And then maybe we switch to Kule Shoyinyo, Akitoye's fellow disruptor, and then Thomas Floshen, in that order. So Kule, please come here, and then finally, Osh. Where is Osh? Okay, please come. Thank you. They've asked me to ask you a few questions, but I will throw those totally out of the window, and then instead suggest that we do something slightly different, mix it up a little bit. The first thing when I call either any of you, I'd like you to please let us know what you expect, what you wish for Unicorn in the next 1 year. Then answer the question that I pose. So, Big Uncle, Professor Wintikpe, what is Unilag doing to innovate and foster innovative talent to the rest of the world, please?
Thank you very much. I want to respectfully again celebrate the Honorable Minister, and always looking young. You need to let us know that it is the oil that we are drinking, or because we are from Uniport. And my dear sister, also the wife of the Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, great alumnus of the University of Lagos, and my big brother here too, who is handling the local content. In the University of Lagos, we came in with the idea of exploiting and tapping into the potentials of our students, bringing out the skill that is in them, so as to make them to be visible at the local and the international level. So we started with the issue of innovation, and today we have so many of them who have been able to show the skill that they have. In fact, about 3 or 4 of them, if I'm going to have come with that. One is the vice president of a big company in the UK now, and said he benefited from the area of entrepreneurship that we are talking about. Because what we want to do in the University of Lagos is that we want to register companies for our students, and it is the university that will pay for the registration and process papers in the area of the registration of companies for our students. We are looking at the possibility of registering at least 500 companies for our students every year. We know that registering the companies does not translate into the companies becoming big in future. We now want to have mentors for them, and Akitoye is one of them, and Dr. Abdullah is one of them. We have mentors for these students as they start their companies, so that they'll be able to direct them, they'll be able to mentor them in making sure that the company, they do well and they are able to survive the hostile environment around them. For our students, like I said, in the area of innovation, we have partnership with other companies. Unicorn is been contributing in the past 2 years in that space too, because I remember one of our colleagues going to the Silicon Valley for that exposure in that area. So what we expect from Unicorn in the next 1 year is to able to harvest the youth, bringing the youth here, harvesting them, and making sure that they are well exposed into the area of innovation, and 2, that they are able to get draw the talent in them, to be able to use that talent effectively. 3, to be able to mentor them, because there are some of them that will come at the initial stage that will not succeed. We should not just throw them away. We should give them the opportunity to restart again, like you say, that kick-starting them all over again and getting the best out of them. So within the next 1 year, we want to see Unicorn not only at the local level, also at the global level. And with the networking that we have with other people, with the other center in Kenya and Ghana, I want to assure you that Nigerian youth are full of ideas, they are crazy of ideas, and they are waiting for somebody to just kickstart them, and they are ready to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. You said a whole bunch of things here, but because I've been working closely with you, I know probably a little bit more. The commitment that Unilag has had to entrepreneurship, innovation, has really taken on a life of its own. 2 years ago, we were at the Tech Money event at Unilag, and I can tell you the entire university was shut down. All the students were there, full of ideas, like you said, eager to get exposure to new opportunities, and they followed up. The confidence that Unilag gives students, the swagger, like I call it, is second to none. I almost wish I'd gone to Unilag, but there we have it. Professor Mubadede, again, thank you for coming. We met a couple months ago, and I know you've been thinking about innovation and a tech ecosystem around OAU. Can you please share some of these ideas and projects? We never know that the people here that would want to embrace them. And then also challenge us at Unicorn to achieve certain things in the next 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. While standing on the existing protocol, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of State. You're very much welcome, sir. And the First Lady, because we are in Lagos, the whole of Lagos belongs to the First Lady now, so we must acknowledge her presence, Dr. Sanwo-Olu, and all the eminent people here, and distinguished Senator. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of you. Now, at Obafemi Awolowo University, we realized that even when we did not have any program, some of our products were doing so well in the area of technology. And we have quite a number of them that are making waves all over the world. You know, Jobber Man is from OAU, Wakana, there are quite a number. So,
great effect.
Great. So we then decided that, look, OAU is very strong in technology. There's no doubt about that. And we were lucky to really have this collaboration with the World Bank that brought the African Center of Excellence in Software Engineering, to OAU. This was a $7 million project. So we ran that project for 4 years, and we were apprehensive that at the end of 4 years we should have been able, to stand on our own without any additional funding. So because through that process, a number of patents were actually registered, and quite a number of the students or the people that passed through that program were able to stand, on their own. But we really didn't have the financial backup to be able to say we can now stand on our own. But luckily, it was renewed for another 4 years, effective from 2020. So we then met the Unicorn group, and we started discussing, and we found that we could partner and we could actually work together. Because, back there in OAU, yes, we have all the talents. So, but we also need, the likes of Unicorn to be able to prop up, some of the people that we identify, even over there at Obafemi Awolowo University. But let me also say that we started an annual program where in October every year we bring in, experts, people in the tech world,
who will talk to our students, not only in technology, but general, business ideas. We started with one day, but now we have it for the whole week, in October. And you cannot believe it. Sometimes, the last one, we had about 5,000, participants. We had to move, we started using Noduguaho, which has a capacity of about 1,500. But we realized that it couldn't just, be adequate for the number of participants. So we had to have some other, hubs where, we had participants on campus. So that's there now. And we have also started an elective, for our students, which will introduce them to innovation, and then they can take it up from there. So that we also have. So we are looking up to Unicorn, actually working with us to not only bring these innovations that are coming out of that place to the international community, but also to help us, in letting them know, meeting with some other people, so that they can be further encouraged. There was a particular candidate that I sent to Dr. Akintoye Akindele, but when they spoke with him, they said, no, the level is still, very, very low, and then that we needed to do more. And so we had to do more, in OAU, so that he can move higher. So that is the kind of thing that we expect, and we're quite sure that Unicorn is on the right path, and that we're happy as a university working with your organization. Thank you.
I think what Professor just talked about reminds me of the discussions we had putting the logo together. And that logo is particularly apt. It sounds as though Prof is really saying to us, challenging us to be that bridge between Nigeria and Africa and the world. And that's what the spikes are. The spikes could be ideas, could be concepts, could be businesses, could be unicorns that really speak to the reason why we are here today. And I'm glad that Professor Caesar was able to join us, because a lot of what we're doing now, he's been there and done that. He has sat in the shoes of our professors and our VCs from IFE and Unilag. He has sat in the shoes of Unicorn in terms of putting together an ecosystem, a knowledge system, a networking system that works to nurture entrepreneurs into big businesses that make a difference to the world at large. So I'd very much love to hear from Prof. Given your several conversations with members of the Unicorn team, given what you know about our aspirations, what should we all be doing to prepare Nigerians, Africans for the world, knowing what the world is expecting of us? Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me well. Thank you very much for this invitation and this opportunity to be here. Thank you so much for this distinguished panel, both from the government and also from the oil sector. My experience as Dean of ISM, and that's where I met Dr. Akintoye, that was actually a meeting of minds, because we have so many things in common in terms of setting up the right ecosystem to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship among youth, and also people who are already in their careers that want to create companies that want to bring solutions to society. And you can only do that when you are creating this global ecosystem. And the idea of Unicorn saying Africa to the world, but also the world to Africa, because we have been creating campuses, or you are creating campuses in different parts of the continent, and there are plans to expand this network globally, not only in terms of the campuses that will be created, but also in terms of the investments that will be made. And the idea is to create this sort of a circular environment in which all the advancement in terms of innovation and in terms of startup creation will be profiting as well other countries and other economies as well. And it is just an amazing project, and the idea of having this close link with the energy sector is extremely important, especially in a country like Nigeria, where the oil and gas sector is the most important one, and also the driver of a lot of innovation and a lot of IT, and the idea, we're already in the digital economy anyway, in the digital era, so we need to be working hand in hand with the oil and gas sector to provide this drive that will make a huge impact in society. So IT plus the energy sector is an amazing combination, and that's where I see Unicorn creating a lot of, making a huge contribution. And sometimes we think about the startups creating innovative solutions for everyday life, but the idea is to create an impact in society. And we know that only innovation and entrepreneurship can actually bring this, facing all these challenges that countries are facing for the future. And if we look at, for instance, the growth of companies and the growth of economies after the pandemic, we are at the right moment. We're at the crossroads in which we have to bring solutions to societal problems. And that's where I see Unicorn making a huge impact for the future. And I'm extremely glad to be here, and thank you for this invitation.
Thank you so very much, Professor Caesar. There are probably 2 points I would just take away to make sure that nobody is forgotten, but I would like you just to buttress on one point. The first one is that idea of a circular ecosystem. You mentioned it during the video clip. Can you just speak to it a little bit more and what Unicorn's role would be in that circular ecosystem?
Can you hear me? Circular ecosystem, actually the building itself calls for this circular environment in which there is going to be extreme, very close interaction between what the startups are doing, this idea creation, potential clients, potential investors, and also companies. I know that on the top floor there will be companies which are seeking to make an entry into the Nigerian market. So they're going to have that impact with the young people that are creating these companies here. So that's on the one hand. On the second hand would be this sort of circular environment, global ecosystem, right, in which invention and innovation and these ideas will be circulating among the different campuses of Unicorn. So it happens at 2 levels.
Well, thank you so much for explaining that. And I think that takes me straight to Kule, because when people look at you and they see your background as an evangelist, should I say that, a motivational speaker, they may almost ask, what are you doing on this platform? Can you please explain what excites you about Unicorn and the role that you see yourself playing within the Unicorn team, taking Africa to the world, and like Professor said, taking the world to Africa?
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I'm also a futurist, and part of that requires a lot of strategic foresight. The idea that we do have the power and intelligence to see what is ahead and connect it to what we are doing today. That all of what we call strategic planning is actually supposed to be preceded by strategic foresight, seeing the end from the beginning. And that transcends the limits of faith or religion. It's simply that human beings have the capacity to control their own narratives and to give birth to the influence that they need to penetrate ideas in the world. What is true is that philosophy has never changed anything in this world. The best philosopher had committed suicide, and that would be Socrates, right? Which is the fact that philosophy doesn't do much. Ideology has changed the world onto good and onto evil. So you have some of the biggest ideas, from democracy to capitalism to some of the most meanest human beings in history, Adolf Hitler, Bin Laden, and you could go on and on.
Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, socialism, communism. These are all ideologies, right? And I see an ideological construct within the Unicorn curriculum. The idea that people are not just being taught to learn how to do business, they are being taught to build brands, one, and to be conscious enough to understand that the empowerment they receive is supposed to empower them to empower others. So pretty much you are taught to teach, assisted to assist. You are built to be able to build others. When we recognize that as a major infusion into how we build entrepreneurs, because a lot of the evil we hate in society are done by people who have money. So you have to be successful at a level to be able to democratize your nuisance, pretty much. Now, when capacity visits people, it's important that they are able to sit into that intelligently so that their success can unlock gratitude in society. So I think those are the kind of entrepreneurs and innovators that Unicorn is set to unleash. The assumption that if you come in here, you are not just learning a skill, because if you learn how to plan, you can plan to destroy the world. That's still a skill. If you learn how to set a goal, you can set a goal to sleep with my wife. That is still a deal. That is still a lot of planning. I think one of the greatest project managers in the world will be Adolf Hitler, who sat on a world war, but frustrated the whole world with that skill. So skills have their nuisance value. Success have their limits. Wisdom demands that we learn to unlock gratitude with the best of our ideas. The second idea is that Unicorn is focused on not just building people who can make money, but who can build brands. And that is key. How do you define Japan without Honda, Toyota, Mitsubishi, Sony, and all those brands in Toyota that are attracting purchasing power from all over the world and bringing it to headquarters in Tokyo, right? Pretty much that is the type of thing. How do you define Korea without Hyundai, Kia, Samsung, LG? How do you define Germany without BMW, Saab, Adidas, and you could go on and on? How do you define, I'm sure everyone can name a US brand, and we will still not exhaust it. That is why it's the most powerful economy in the whole world. So we need, and when you come back and you think of Congo, what do you think of? Nothing. You think of, Banjul, what comes to your mind? Nothing. You think of the African countries. We don't lack successful people. What we lack is people who see to the next 50, 100 years to build something of such intrinsic value that can unlock gratitude for the continent, impacting on GDP and per capita income, impacting on per capita GNI figures across the continent. I think that is key. To rally around a unicorn is a duty. I don't even think it's a choice. This is one of those ideas with a promise of hope that can deliver so much change for the continent. That we came here, that we invest in this type of idea, that we rally around it for us is probably the greatest answer of our conscience. And that is what I see, and that's what I'm here. As a strategist, I will contribute all that I know. As a global influencer and as a global influence strategist, I will bring a lot of network, a lot of the relationships I've built over the years, and add that to the mentoring equation, to the coaching equation, and to the capacity that these young people will need. Yeah, that will be it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So I think that deserves a round of applause. I've taken 2 points away from you. If we could just land on it. The first one is that Unicorn is helping to democratize opportunity for young people. And it's really very important to understand why that is powerful in a very unequal world, where some of these things that you just described come naturally to some and almost impossible to others without unicorn type institutions in place. The other point you made here is seeing the end from the beginning. So the relationship that we're now talking about, even between the oil and gas sector and the technology and the entrepreneurial sectors, is really about that. We've all just heard how the relationship of the world to fossil fuels are going to stay the same forever. People are already seeing some really important signs, lines drawn in the sand. So let's start planning for it. Let's start investing in the next sector and the next sector that will grow the economy. And we look forward to working with you on those things. Thank you so much. So I'm going to move to Tom here. Thank you so much for coming. And you came in yesterday. I hope you're not jet lagged. Yes, we'll keep the question quite brief. You've heard us. We have every intention of investing in our own talent, but also encouraging the world to invest in our talent. Given that you have some affinity to Africa, you're here today, you're also already invested in some African entrepreneurs. Tell us what you're looking for. Tell us what we as Unicorn need to do to get the investors, the entrepreneurs ready for investors such as yourselves. Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Let me start by saying just thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the hospitality and to the Minister, His Excellency, to the First Lady. Pleasure to be here, and to Toye, and to you as well for putting on this event. It's just incredibly impressive and inspirational. So thank you again. To answer the question, I think the first thing that I would say is in the United States, as we look at companies and increasingly look to identify resources and opportunities around the globe, one of the biggest challenges that we see, at least within my firm at Pangeum, where we're trying to bring an interconnected global travel ecosystem together, is companies from Africa who are presenting themselves actively to the U.S. market. So we look proactively, we can try to search proactively, but oftentimes it can be hard to find. And so if you're in the United States and you want to build your market exposure within the African markets, it can be challenging to do so unless you have previous experience here. And oftentimes that really comes primarily from former U.S. government experience. The U.S. exposure to the various opportunities here within Africa in general, particularly within Nigeria, is not necessarily as coordinated as it could be and as structured as it could be. So one of the challenges that, one of the solutions to that I think Unicorn addresses and is addressing very well is that proactive foot forward into the international market. And you see with companies like Comico, you see with a number of the other companies that we met even today, who are already doing international sales and international shipping. And that sort of forward-leaning marketing presence that you see here in front of you today with the production and the quality and caliber of the event, I think is only going to, as time goes by, further expose not only the companies that Unicorn helps to incubate, but also the entirety of the African and the Nigerian market to other countries. And for one, I myself and our firm, we certainly look forward to it. So thank you again.
So certainly there's a challenge with visibility. Africa is doing great things, but the world doesn't necessarily know about it. That's a calling for us. We plan to do Africa tours every year. I'm surprised Dr. Akitele didn't mention that, where we will bring investors from around the world and take them on a tour of Africa. From Nigeria, of course, to Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, across East Africa, Central, and even North Africa, so that we start to break that barrier, that distance, and get people really excited about what's available here. And I also saw that you were missing for a few minutes. I now know that you've gone to inspect some of our opportunities as a good investor would. Thank you so much. So we're full circle from those that have nurtured talent from the university, those that work to incubate and develop entrepreneurship and innovation, those that help to build a brand and tell the story, and those that invariably will invest. Now to that gentleman that's gone through that whole value chain, that has done it all. The easy, the hard, the painful, the exciting. Tell us how a unicorn should make it easier for the next set of ushers that are about to come. Tell us your experience and what needs to change going forward.
So, thanks to Toye, my dear friend, a brother, a kindred spirit, a guy I am 100% invested in, as he is invested in me. He's smiling, that mischievous smile of his. Thank you for all you have done. I appreciate I wish the world for you and that everything that we plan works out. It's going to take a lot of work, but we have the chops for it. Your Excellency, it's good to see you again. I first met His Excellency in Davos a few years ago with Her Highness I think it was winter of 2019 or something like this, and we were meant to catch up, but we never got around to it. I hope we can catch up soon. Thank you, Your Excellency, for coming, and thank you, Senator. Thank you for having me. I was born and bred here in Lagos. I went to Unilag, and I think Unilag is awesome, but it speaks for itself, all right? One key thing that resonated with me with what His Excellency the Minister said is, it's easy to criticize, it's easy to complain. That's easy. Anyone can do that. I live in the United States. One of my favorite presidents is Teddy Roosevelt, where he talks about the man in the ring. The critic can say whatever they want. People can say stuff and you can write books and all of that. But the man in the ring, the struggle, the fight, to build a country, to build a nation, to build a new world, it takes a lot of details. And what I wish the most for Platform and Unicorn Group, which I know they will do, is to find companies like Film Anatomy. They're upstairs right now. We all pass through these guys. I love it. I love what they're doing because they address the dearth of equipment for filmmakers in this country. We have amazing stories to tell. We have amazing African stories to tell that will compete with Hollywood, that will compete with Bollywood. But how do you tell a guy in Yaba, or how do you tell a guy in Lansing to pay $120,000 for film equipment? But looking at Film Anatomy upstairs, they're looking to raise what, $50,000? You back them, they bring down the cost of that production, and suddenly what they generate from this is immense. And the cool thing is, there are many stories like this across the country. Just they need that little push, that resource to help them excel. What I wish most for Platform Capital and for Unicorn Group is that they are able to bring all of those people in, show them the rope, give them access to the technology, give them access to everything they need to succeed, and they will just do it themselves. When people see me in Silicon Valley, perhaps to them I'm a little bit of a rarity, but I tell anyone that cares to listen. I'm sure the VC has the records to prove it, the VC of Unilag. I wasn't the best student in my class. But imagine if all of those guys didn't give up, or they didn't say, I'm just going to work for an oil company, or I'm going to work in a bank. They took their destiny in their hands and they just went out there and did it. It's hard, it's tough, but I feel confident with what I have seen with the Unicorn Group. I feel very confident that they're going to get all of it done. It's a tough journey, but it's a journey that anybody that is born and bred in Africa is capable of building world-changing global brands and so on and so forth. So immensely proud of what we're doing here. This is the future. I'm very proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ash. Knowing one or two things about some of the battles that you've gone through, I want to say that the sense of purpose, the sense of place, the sense of presence that being a Nigerian gives you anywhere in the world has come to play a part in how you've won those battles. We're not, maybe like many of the other African countries, regardless of what situation we find ourselves, we know who we are. We know what we bring. And that usually helps us to find our voice, helps us to, I used the word swagger earlier, helps us to carry the day. And please continue. We're so proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my little assignment discharged. Somebody mentioned my name earlier, but they didn't do it quite right. My name is Zulikat Uraola Abiola. The building is named after me. Thank you.
Zulikat Uraola. So people don't think that all we have is men on this continent. Because you say yes.
We need more women.
So one of the people we have invested in is an amazing lady called Maya Famodu. Maya is once possibly the biggest VC fund in Nigeria, and Maya has invested in. Maya, come to the stage. So she's a tech investor normally. So please indulge her dressing. So I wanted Maya to give a few minutes on what she's done, what she's doing. And Maya was possibly one of the first investors in Paystack and a few other people, and she's blown the numbers of the park. We are proud of Maya and the money we put with Maya. And she's doing her second fund, but quickly in a few minutes tell us what's your experience has been trying to invest in Africa, why you will leave the US, because Maya was born in the US and came to look for her dad, and then stayed back finding her dad in Africa here.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. Toye. You believed in us before we were anything, and our largest investor today, and I'm grateful for all of the support and everything that you've done. So thank you so much for supporting us so that we can support the ecosystem. I know I have a very American accent, but I am half Nigerian. I am Nigerian. So, as far as my background and my story, so I was raised in the U.S., came to Nigeria, as Dr. Toye said, with my family, and started off in aggressive advisory. When I was 23, I started my first business. I tried launching a $50 million fund, and I didn't get very far. Lo and behold, with a whole year of work experience, they didn't believe me. So instead of launching the VC fund, we said, okay, global investors, instead of giving us your money up front, we'll take you to Nigeria and we'll show you the viable investment opportunities. And then you can make the decision to invest, and we'll help you with portfolio support, we'll introduce you to government where it's relevant, co-investors. And that actually worked. We worked with the largest global investors, the most successful technology companies, everyone from Y Combinator, Techstars, Google, Facebook, all these were our clients. And we brought them to Nigeria. Our clients to date have done over 60 investments in Nigeria alone. And then in 2017, we had enough data points, our clients trusted us, and we launched our first fund. So our $10 million Fund 1, our very first portfolio company was Paystack, which sold to Stripe for $205 million last year. That was over a 40x on our first investment that we made. Thank you, Dr. Toye, again, for believing in us. And we've also gotten other investments from the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority and other global top investment funds. Last year, we also launched Ingressive for Good, which is our nonprofit arm. They do university and micro scholarships, technical skills training, and talent placement for African youth. To date, we've worked with we've trained over 66,000 Nigerians in technical skills. We've deployed over $50,000 in university scholarships in the last 6 months. Yes, and so scaling this operation, if you're interested to get involved, we want to train and place, not just give people technical training, but get them jobs. Our last training cohort of 3,000 members, we had 80% employment upon graduation. And this year we've launched the raise for our $50 million Fund 2. So we're just continuing with the growth, continuing with the progress. And as far as what the journey has been like trying to invest or investing, we've made 33 investments from Fund 1. Our portfolio is tracking on valuations about 4x, so we're tracking along. We're doing okay. And we're very, very excited about the future of what this continent holds. I'm sure you guys continue to see in the news the billion-dollar exits that are happening, the billion-dollar raises that are happening in Africa tech. I know other sectors are struggling, but tech-enabled and the next generation of African innovators, it's incredible. Every day we wake up with so much, excitement, motivation, because of what is happening and what we're seeing every day in the universities and people, part of our scholarship program, if somebody wants to learn tech, whether or not they're in university, we'll just send them a laptop and send them data, and they can learn independently. And the incredible things that people are coming up with, and the earning power and the learning power, it's miraculous. So thank you again, Dr. T, for all the support you've given us so far, and we look forward to working with all of you to raise the continent in coming years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maya. Maya has been extremely conservative. She's doing very well. 33 companies across Africa with star investors in our fund. When I met Maya and she, with the accent, I'm like, how are you going to invest in Nigeria with this accent? But one thing about, I don't care where you are from. One thing about being a Nigerian and an African, you just don't give up, right? And so when I told Maya, listen, you don't know private equity, you've not done it before, I can't back you. And she said to me something that got me going. So teach me and support me. And that's the core of what it is to be human. A lot of times talk about experience. But if you don't give that person the chance, where would the experience come from? That was just very obvious. So Toye, teach me, I want to do it. And then she was trying to raise money. So I said, you know what, we'll back you. We backed her with just capital, office space, knowledge, a lot of time going over our business model, our financial model. Now she's a big time investor. I don't even see, I've not seen Maya this year, so, but it's okay, like when they become lions, they kind of go and they're okay now. So that's an idea. For us at Unicorn and Platform, the African story, to quote America in Kurma, Africa, I'm not an African, African is in me. I was speaking to some people yesterday, actually 2 days ago, and I asked them, do you know what the name Africa, where the name Africa came from? They didn't even know. I said Africa was a guy called Louis Africanus that said he discovered Africa. Before then, our name was called Alkebula, mother of mankind. That's strong for me, mother of mankind. So I come from the country of mother of mankind. I was born a king. I'm going to run and rule this world as a king. I'm not a slave. You may have been enslaved us 500 years, but we've been around for millions of years. And those days are over. I have the youngest population in the world. The future is ours. We're innovating. And if you look at how America colonized the world, they did that by exporting their culture, their music, their clothes, their food. Now, anywhere you go, you hear Davido and you hear Davido and Whiskey singing. African cuisine everywhere. Our clothes are in fashion. We are going to export our fashion to the whole world until everybody is African. Because really, our cable land is mother of mankind, and that's what we are. We are going to own this world. The future is ours. And with the public and private working together, it's only a matter of time. And I keep telling my global partners that if Africa takes advantage of the opportunity, we will be a leader. If you don't work with us, and we don't, will be your problem in the future. Either way, we are relevant. So you must well work with us and make sure that we are partners. On this day, we at Unicorn Group are extremely honored to have your presence. We've launched the largest innovation campus 24 hours in the world today here in Lagos, in Yaba. Something that was almost impossible a few years ago. We've showcased what's possible when you take public support, private entrepreneurship, and global ideas, I call it global, into a concept that we then galvanize around and move our story forward. Us talk about the man in the arena. That's the man that is always bloodied every time. Criticizing is the easiest thing to do. Finger pointing is an amazing task to do all day. But what are you going to do to change the narrative? We are trying to change this narrative. We are lucky, we are humbled by the government from state to federal level and across international supporting us. You can do the same thing. Nation building is not for government alone. The government you get is going to deserve. How about everybody here runs a government in their homes? Run your own government very well and see what government will do for you. I'm lucky to be Nigerian. I cannot even lucky, I'm blessed to be Nigerian. Blessed. I'm blessed. There's no better time. There's no better time in the history of mankind to be a Nigerian than now. There's no better time to be black than now. See, for us, black does not mean color. Black means be your brother's keeper. L, we are loyal people. A, we are authentic human beings. K, we are knowledgeable. And C, we are capable. So for me, it's about being black. And this time is now. So this house is all yours. Send your ideas. Send your beautiful ones because they are born. Africa Rising is not a story anymore. It's a movie you're going to watch and tell your kids how you were either at the forefront or the back seat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for spending the day with us. We'll then release the panel and the VIPs to go upstairs for some entertainment. And please, pictures first, please, Excellencies. Come to the stage. Picture first. And then the first row will go up and we'll then move gradually. Please join. Thank you very much, everybody. And my colleague, Dr. Bila, will lead the VIPs up. No, that song is very important. That's our anthem for the year. Play that song again so that everybody remembers that you are black, you are all champions. Brother, please lead the VIPs up. VIPs only place club and lead the next group up. Madame, when you see me, you know you're looking at a motherfucking sipping empty pocket on a bag of drink. Many things my eyes don't see. Many tears my eyes don't bleed. To the rise and fall, I made it to the top. You don't get anything when you want to. I'm a champion. I'm a king. I'm a legend, I'm a champion. Remember this, I'm a legend, I'm a girl.
and it's true. There is only one, just you. I find it hard to say.
Why don't you hear the mic for your microphone so that I can have it very clear? It's not fast. You can get it from like 7. You can get it from like 7,000.
And it's a wrap. Thank you for watching.
She loves me.